Good afternoon and welcome everybody into Daily Cards Live, August 22nd. Cardinals baseball coming up a little bit later, but me and Ram are going to talk it all about here on ClaibsOnline.com. Bob Ramsey, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm filling in for Joe Rocc. How are you doing today, sir?
Rocc, it's always great to talk to you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, much better than the Cardinals and our boy Drew, as we like to call him, CD Rom, because what else are you going to call him? A rough start for him, obviously, in his MLB debut. Goes 3 2/3 innings pitched, eight hits, allows 6 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts, 1 home run. He throws 90 pitches across his 3 2/3, just 51 of those for strikes. He gets just 4 swinging strikes in the game. Again, a low velocity pitcher, but somebody who everyone, the numbers said he's going to be somebody who can still strike people out and get those swing and misses with his low velocity. Obviously, in your debut, you're not expecting him to go out there and blow everyone away, but your thoughts right out of the gate in the rough first appearance and debut from Drew Rom?
Right out of the gate, I think he can sign a year lease in Memphis. Seriously, I think he's 23 years old. If he was 26 or 7, you'd say, well, maybe this guy, if he stays in the big leagues, it'd be in the bullpen. And, a guy maybe should start worrying about specializing against left-handed hitting and, all those kinds of things. He's 23. Now, will he get more starts the rest of the way in the next 6 weeks? He might. And so in 2 more starts, we might change our mind. But as of today, and you said, okay, you need at least 8 legitimate candidates to compete for your starting rotation. I would not have him in that 8 or even 9. But so where would you put him in your organizational depth chart? I say he's in the rotation at Memphis. He's 23. Let's let the guy learn the game.
A lot of the conversation around Cardinals pitching this year has been rooted in the idea of a philosophical change. Them being behind the 8 ball with the swing and miss and the high velocity pitchers. Knowing that Drew Rom obviously doesn't fit that change, and knowing how baseball's obviously been going, especially on the relief side of things, with him being a low velocity guy, is the bullpen ideally in his future at all? Like, should you even be planning for him to be a guy who gets bullpen usage, let's say in May, June, April, May, June, but then comes into the starting lineup after a injury in July, one of those young guys? Or is that even an option looking forward and saying, well, we need guys in the bullpen who are constantly bringing velocity and swing and miss. We don't need that craftiness coming out of the bullpen. We need that potentially as a starter down the line. We're just going to keep you in Memphis and keep you seasoning as a starter instead of doing what they consistently have done, which is pigeonhole guys as relievers, and then all of a sudden they're stuck in a situation where the pitcher's not happy and they're not a starter. They're not a starter anymore.
I think you used a phrase that overarches all those topics you just had right there. Pigeonhole. Don't pigeonhole anybody unless a guy's a starter. You start him after a given period of time, and it's not the same for everybody. I know media members and fans, they want hard and fast rules. Well, if he doesn't do this by this date, he's going to be this. These are human beings. It doesn't work that way. And the guy obviously has talent. He's made it to AAA. AAA as a successful player. He's only 23 years old. So I think you got to let this thing play out and not now. Having said all that, organizations, and in particular this organization, the Cardinals, they do tend to label and pigeonhole guys. So I'm not saying they're not going to do what you said. I'm saying they shouldn't.
Also, I think we should look at your points about him having success in AAA. Michael McGreevy is also 23 years old. He's also had some success this year, unlike a guy like Gordon Graceffo, and yet they haven't been tripping over themselves to find a start for Michael McGreevy at the MLB level, despite the fact that this is the perfect season to give him a chance. And so I think you're right. That probably does say something about what the organization saw from him. And so no need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Obviously, he's going to, like you said, he's going to get 2 or 3 more starts here before the end of the year.
I haven't talked to anybody about McGreevy, My guess is they're treating him almost like Mason Wynn. Let's wait until he's ready to perform to be a big league rookie. So does he fit into that 8 or 9 deep depth chart of guys competing for rotation? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe just with the innings count, they want him to be a starter, so they're thinking, we can only maybe give him 3 or 4 starts, and so maybe he's a September call up, maybe he gets 2 or 3 there. Maybe that's the plan with McGreevy. I'm just saying that the fact that they go ahead and with Rom right out of the gate and gave him this one and not a guy like McGreevy who's been in the organization longer, it just says something about Rom. You were talking about that 8-man group to find your 5-man rotation. Let's do a little quick math, and I'm going to use my fingers because I'm not that smart. So you have Michaelis and Maps, and then you have the 3 pitchers they're going to add according to John Mozeliak. That leaves the other 3 right now of that 8, in my opinion. Matthew Liberatore. Let's assume the injuries don't continue over the offseason and he's fine in the spring. Matthew Liberatore, Dakota Hudson, and Zach Thompson. And so let's talk about those 3 on this hand really quickly because those are the guys who have been getting starts consistently since the trade deadline, albeit some injuries. So overall, Matthew Liberatore struggled, but you have the high level of that Tampa Bay start. Then on the other side, you have more consistent showing from Dakota Hudson and Zach Thompson. Your thought about those 3 guys and let's call it a race for the number 5 spot in the 2024 rotation?
Oh, gosh, man. I think there's no way to – I'm not comfortable putting any money on any one of those horses right now. We got to see more, don't we? Yeah. The one guy who's been most consistent is the older guy, which you would expect.
The guy who has a 16-win season in Major League Baseball under his belt?
So he's gonna be up the list. The other guys are gonna have to do more to earn his status, I think, in that group. And that sort of makes sense. The other thing we were talking about, a change in philosophy from pitch to contact to strikeout. I think having a philosophy that's either way is dumb. Don't we see pitching staffs who give you different looks, different nights, and from inning to inning, don't we always applaud those pitching staffs where you come at a crafty lefty, then a hard-throwing right-hander, then a lefty with a nasty slider? I mean, don't we, like I said, don't we applaud those kind of multi-situational pitching staffs? So to say, oh, we're going all strikeout. Okay, so I get Matt Rocchio out there. He can strike everybody out, but he's going to walk as many as he strikes out. Well, that's no good. So to have that as a philosophy opposed to let's sign pitchers and let's teach them how to pitch.
Yeah, I think maybe it's more fair to say, and the reason it's been talked about is that it's a team building point of focus over the next year and the next 5 the next round of draft, free agency, trade deadline, to supplement all of that craftiness already in the organization with new blood that swing and miss. And maybe unfortunately the long-term bent of just going hardcore towards swing and miss, 3 outcome baseball, which is, again, I'm with you. I like the idea of a team zigging when everyone else zags. But my thing is, and this is where I think the Cardinals have screwed up, and I think we've talked about this on this podcast before, is that the Cardinals sometimes do it too much in half measures, and then they don't go all the way. And so at the same time, you're right. There needs to be a mix, but they also can't balk at this change over the next cycle of getting more velo into the organization because it is necessary, because they do need that balance, and they do not have that balance right now. And I think that when you compare it to the rest of the league is apparent.
Here's where I'm calling bullshit on the Cardinals' change in philosophy. You had 3 guys that threw almost 100 miles an hour, and you move 2 of them, and the other guy's always hurt.
Yeah, but name one of those guys who's having success with that team, right? Bob. I bet you can't name one of the guys having success with his team. Let me pull up the Genesis Cabrera stats that everyone's been talking about. Never mind.
But that's my point about the philosophy.
Yeah, you're right.
If that was your philosophy, wouldn't you keep those guys and make them better? Oh no, we're going to get. So it doesn't make sense. it's more word salad from the Cardinal organization. Maybe they believe it, but I'm calling BS on it because you say whatever you want to the media. Yeah, and we'll regurgitate it, but actions do speak louder than words.
Yeah, it has been odd because I've noticed, and I don't know if this is purposeful, but in the last 2 weeks, the 3 starting pitchers has changed to 3 pitchers. And I think that's an interesting change in rhetoric so quickly.
So, yeah. So I think counting young guys like McGreevy, I think that that pitching rotation depth chart probably will go to 9 or 10, and just hope you don't have injuries. And I think a major free agent signing, my favorite of the day. Who knows? It could change by the time the free agent season comes along. But Urias would be my first choice. And then if you trade for a guy, don't know who that could be, but maybe that's a 2 or 3. The Cardinals will probably go a little bit cheaper and say Michaelis is our number 2 starter. Okay. I prefer having somebody better than Miles. Not a shot to Miles, but if you're better than Miles, you're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That's my point. Again, not to rip on Michaelis.
He's also having a low home run year this year, and his numbers aren't that great.
Yeah. So if you do that and then you get one more just a guy to be a 5th starter, I'm not real thrilled about that. I'd rather go out and get for my 3rd pitcher that the Cardinals have declared, I'd rather go get a stud reliever. I mean a stud. A closer.
Yeah, they need a closer, a guy who they can go back-to-back days, that can go multiple times in a week. They absolutely need that 100%. Really quickly, though, before we get to the lineups for today, presented by Bootleg and Bob's and Bootleg and Tavern, of course, is I just want to mention, right now, Thompson's my favorite of those 3 because, and here's why. Liberatore's too far. It's been up and down. He's injured again. And the 2 things that the Cardinals were talking about, which was fastball velocity and curveball placement, weren't really there even in the Tampa Bay start. He really wasn't commanding it that well. His fastball command was good, but his velocity still wasn't there in Tampa Bay. So I'm out on Liberatore. What Thompson has done, considering the way that he got jerked around by the organization, starter reliever. We're going to talk to him after the season and see what his role is going to be. Oh wait, no, he's a starter again. And to come out there and do this, that it elevates it above the unevenness of Liberatore and the fact that Hudson's been so inconsistent. He's doing this against some not so great teams, and I thought we'd see more from him. A guy, like you said, who has a 16-win season already in his belt. I'm more up on the potential right now of Zach Thompson. We'll see if he completely blows that in the next month and I look like an idiot.
As much as we in town in a horrific year love to rip the organization, if Thompson does become a member of the rotation, are we going to give them credit? While they may have meandered to get him back as a starter, they're there. And if he makes it, do they get credit?
Yeah, I'll get credit. Yeah, they get credit for developing a pitcher. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah,
I'm with you. Yeah, I think that's only fair. And if anything, we're fair and balanced. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's already using that. Never mind.
Yeah, but it's not like they have any lawyers who would have copyrighted that or anything. Come on now.
All right.
Let's get into the lineup today. Cardinals back in action facing Game 2 against the Pirates, trying to overcome an 11-1 shellacking yesterday. Let's get into the lineup. 6:05 first pitch from PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Your St. Louis Cardinals, Adam Wainwright on the mound, 3-8 on the season, going for win at number 199 of his career. And the Cardinals lineup as follows. Tommy Edman leads off playing second base. The DH Alec Burleson in the 2-hole. Paul Goldschmidt at first base, batting third. Nolan Gorman at third base, batting fourth. Wilson Contreras at catcher at fifth. Tyler O'Neill left field, batting sixth. Richie Palacios at center field, seventh. Jordan Walker, your right fielder, batting eighth. And Mason Wynn rounds out the Cardinals lineup, batting ninth, because you got to save those at bats so that he still is eligible for Rookie of the Year next year. And here's the Pirates on the other side, led by former St. Louis Cardinal Johan Oviedo, 6-13 on the season. Second baseman Ji-Hwan Bae leads off for the Pittsburgh Pirates, followed by left fielder Brian Leonard. DH Andrew McCutcheon, right fielder Connor Joe, their catcher Endy Rodriguez bats fifth, followed by brother of Richie Joshua Palacios at center field batting seventh. Vinny Capper, their third baseman, bats seventh. Alfonso Rivas is their first baseman batting eighth, and Alika Williams, shortstop, rounds out their lineup just like Mason Wynn does for the Cardinals. Your thoughts really quickly, because I know you love that lineup. Rammer, your thoughts on the Cardinals lineup today. Again, Mason Wynn in the 9th spot again.
I would have preferred today, not necessarily every day, but today, hit him second.
Yeah.
In front of Goldie, and then I can move Burleson to 5 to break up the right-handed hitters.
Have you liked the shift down of Goldie and Arenado from 2-3 to 3-4?
It doesn't matter.
Well, not 2-3, but
it's inconsequential. It doesn't matter. I'd actually who do we have leading off? Edman?
Tommy Edman.
Yeah, it's fine there, but I'd like to see the young guy get a little more protection. Maybe see if that can help get him going a little more. He's doing fine. I think moving up to the 1 or 2 hole, you could even move him 1 and Edman 2, because Tommy doesn't draw enough walks. I think that might energize him a little bit. Might be kind of fun.
It might be a whole other at bat though, Rammer. I don't know. I don't know if they can.
Yeah,
I don't know. Because then if he's at 129 and it's the last day of October, you're going to sit Mason Wynn for a whole day. What will that do to his development to have to sit on the bench for a whole game? Rammer, I thought you cared about developing prospects for this Cardinal team, but apparently not.
No.
Okay.
Throwing that, get the at bats.
There you go. Rammer, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, those lineups brought to you by Bootlegging Tavern and Bootlegging Bob's. You can check out Bootlegging Tavern over at 4501 Shoto Avenue or Bootlegging Bob's at 3457 Morgan Ford Road. Check them out. A great place to watch that Cardinals game. And in fact, it's going to be anything like yesterday's game. You want to be at an establishment like Bootlegging Tavern or Bootlegging Bob's. Just coincidentally, it's a good place to be when things go south like that. So, Rammer, thank you again for joining me today on Daily Cards Live. Before we go, please tell everyone about our friends at Royal Banks of Missouri.
Royal Banks of Missouri, over 60 years in our area, and their area expands. St. Louis proper, East Side, St. Charles County, and 3 branches in Northeast Missouri, and they all say Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking.
Awesome. Rammer, thank you so much for joining me today. You have a great rest of your day. I believe you will be joined by Joe Roderick again. So everyone, back to your regular scheduled program on Wednesday. Have a great day, St. Louis. Enjoy that Cardinals game.
Munganess St. Louis Acura has a great selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras. Get 3.9% financing for up to 36 months on all new Acura models, or get $1,000 in loyalty incentives on the 2023 TLX and RDX, and $750 in loyalty incentives on the 2024 Integra. Get financing as low as 1.99% for up to 36 months on certified pre-owned TLX and MDX models. Munganess St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.